Hello, this is Annalisa from Faith Dream Create, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a Valentine's Day project for you that is not a card. This is a sign that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and it is very beautiful. It has the flowers, and it says, "I love you to the moon and back." But I'm going to go ahead and alter this and bring that moon theme back into this and take away those flowers. So as you saw there, that was the Tim Holtz moon masks and stencil set. I will be using that in a little bit, but first I'm going to paint the flowers on here and get them away as beautiful as they are. I want to make this piece make more sense and bring in that moon. And so just painting this with some acrylic paint in white, and I wanted to stick with white so that I could work with my Distress Oxide inks like you're going to see in a little bit. And I also wanted to have it be systematic with that white wood grain look here as well. So I did have to do several layers of paint and let it dry in between because there is quite a bit of color going on in the sign. So I was super excited to get this idea about this and to use these Tim Holtz moon stencils. And you're going to see how I create this piece. I had an idea in my head and it came out good. I really like the results, but this isn't what I pictured in my head exactly, but I do like how it turned out. It is definitely fun to use your card making supplies, your scrapbooking supplies, to do something different every once in a while to get you out of the box of what creativity looks like and just give you another way to stretch your supplies. I'm just adding another layer here as this first layer had dried, and now I'm just sponging it on, giving it a little bit of texture to get that background color to go away, and then I will let this dry, and then we can go ahead and get started by using the moon masks and stencils, and we're gonna have some fun. So once this layer is on and dry, we can move on to the next step. I love this saying, "I love you to the moon and back." I say it to my kiddos, and it is just near and dear to my heart. So here are these stencils that I was talking about. Just at first, I was just seeing which size fit. This comes with various sizes. I believe there's 3 or 4 sizes. So you have the moon mask, which you can mask off on your project. And because I couldn't actually mask it off and blend around it, I could have, but I decided to just trace it. And you're going to see what I do in the end here, or as we go along. So now I'm putting the stencil on, and I'm going to grab out some Distress Oxide colors and blend the moon shadow design onto the project. So I go ahead and I do 2 moons, one on the top and one on the bottom around the words. And I'm going to come in with some more colors as we go and make this be more vibrant, make it stand out. And I do things in stages and come back and fix it and figure out the method to this project. So this is the Black Pops of Color from scrapbook.com, and I'm just outlining the masked area, the outline of the circle on the moon. Feel like I should have done this at the end because as I continued to work on it, I did not want to wait for it to dry, and it smudged on here a little bit, but it gives it that distressed vintagey kind of vibe, so that is okay. But this could have definitely been done at the end, but I was just going with my process and how my brain was thinking in getting this project done. So then I'm bringing in some stencils. This big star stencil is a older set from Simon Says Stamp. If it is still available, I will list it down below. And then this is the Rabbit Hole Designs Aim for the Stars stencil, I believe. If it is still available as well, I'll have it listed down below. I'll have all the supplies listed down below that I have used today that I can link to, and that will be down in the description box if you would like to go ahead and check these out, take a closer look at them, and or do a project similar to this and you don't have these supplies, you can go ahead and check them out there. So I really liked these stars that I stenciled on here, but it was missing that love theme. So you're going to see how I do that in a little bit. As you can see, I'm just adding some stars here on the wood grain area around the sentiment. And here it is looking like this now, but I needed to bring in that love theme again and bring in some pops of red. So I don't have a heart stencil in my collection, but I do have this heart sprinkled trail from Simon Says Stamp. So I went ahead and used the die through my Big Shot machine with this stencil paper that I have on hand. I was creating stencils in my Silhouette Cameo machine, and I picked this stencil paper up from Amazon, so I ran it through my Big Shot machine and created my own heart stencil with that die. So I'm not sure if that die is still available. If it is, I will link it down below, but you could do this with any die cut from any company and you could make your own stencil. So now I'm just going ahead and using the Distress Oxide inks and adding in those hearts. No rhyme or reason, just adding layers over the stars that I have already inked up to bring in that red and to bring in that love theme. Love you to the moon and back. We definitely needed hearts. We definitely needed to bring in that love theme. And I'm adding I already added the star sprinkles, and now I'm adding some heart sprinkles. And I really like how this turned out. It doesn't look perfect, but it gives it that fun, playful look and totally ties everything together. I just added the hearts on until I was happy with this. And I did, like I said, I did smudge some of that pops of color because I was impatient and didn't let it dry, but we kept going with it and it works out in the end. And you're going to see how I finish off these moons in a little bit as well. They still needed something as I was working on this heart part. I am so glad that I could incorporate this die cut and create a stencil and get the small hearts that I needed, because when I was thinking of adding these hearts, I was like, how do I do this? You could definitely use heart stickers or anything, but this is what I came up with and I really like how it turned out. So as we continue with this project, we are going to get it done. So just adding a few more hearts, moving it around. It was like a turntable on my desk. It's like, turn it around. Okay. Adding in more, trying to get a few at the top here. I'm definitely going to put this stencil off to the side and use it again in some future project because yes, and maybe even make some more stencils with some dies, because this is a great way to take your dies and your craft supplies to the next level and use them in different ways. Yes, please. So just adding a few more. I added a lot of the hearts to just finish up everything, and I wanted it to be filled up. And I just could not stop adding the heart sprinkles, as I'm going to call them. And then once all those heart sprinkles are in there, I eventually do stop. I'm going to finish up the moon and figure that out. I love the little dots as well in the stencil. You got the hearts and the dots, and it just adds that extra touch to the background and with the stars as well. Just very fun. So now I'm going to bring in that stencil again, add some more color, or I'm actually adding some more stars in. There was a few areas that needed a few more pops of yellow and a few more stars, as I feel like with the red hearts coming in, it took the stars away a little bit. So I just added a little bit more of that in as well. And then I'm going to bring in some more color on the moon once that is done. Layering up the hearts and stars. There's so many details that go into projects like this, and it's such a fun process. So fun. I am now going to put that yellow aside and work on the moons. So I'm going to bring in some hickory smoke gray to fix up these moons. I was trying to get a few of the black pieces away that I had smudged, but then I just went with it and I left it, and I was like, you know what, it's just going to add to the look, give it a little bit of a distressed look. So I went with it and just kept on going. So here is the hickory smoke gray, and I'm just adding it in. I'm not worrying about going over the yellow because I can add that layer of yellow back in, but I'm just giving some more texture and color to that. So now I'm bringing in that yellow again and using the stencil and making that stand out again. I'm doing this on both of the moons, but I felt like it was still missing something. So I tried to figure it out, and I kept thinking, what do I do? So I tried to add some more color, see if I could make it stand out. But with that outline of the black with the pops of color, that was like taking away from it. So you're going to see how I figured this out. Definitely kept on trying to add color and figure this out. But what I end up doing is taking the pops of color and outlining the rest of the shadowed areas on the yellow parts to make it stand out, make it the same as the black circle, and it gives it some dimension and shine. And I also heat embossed this as well with the Ranger Emboss It pen and some clear embossing ink, and I'm just heat setting that to give it some shine as well. So lots of different things that you are going to see me do here as the process goes. So here is the pops of color. And adding that dimension in, and I just really love how this made the moon stand out, and especially with the embossing powder, and just that gives it that shine, finishes it all off. So adding these layers in, and then I did go ahead and add some hearts with the stencil right onto the moon to give it that pop of red on there as well, and I really love how that turned out. And then as a finishing touch, to add some of the shine into the sentiment area, love you to the moon and back, I added clear pops of color, and that is going to finish up today's project. Here it is in my kitchen, all displayed. And that is going to finish up today's project. If you like this video and this project, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you here and inspire you along the way. Bye for now.